The other piece of property taxes that I've been working on for you is for seniors and disabled veterans. Last year, at the end of the session, the regular session, we sent the governor a bill, House Bill 2096. It was like a conference committee report, so it had a bunch of bills stuffed in it. And two of the bills were my bills. One of the bills was for permanent, 100% permanent and total disabled, or disabled or unemployable due to disability, which is a special category. Basically, if you can't work, you were going to get a 75% exemption on your property taxes. And you'd still pay your property taxes to the county and the city and the school, but you'd get a rebate every year in your income tax rebate, a refund. You get a rebate of 75% of whatever you paid in property taxes. That was kind of a negotiated settlement. There was another piece in it which was sort of for everybody else. If you were a senior, 65 or older, veteran or not a veteran, it didn't matter. Senior, 65 or older, or if you were a disabled veteran, 50% or more disabled, it was a property tax freeze at the 2022 level. So basically, whatever your property taxes went up over what you paid in 2022, you would get back from the state as a rebate. It had some income and house limit requirements, but they were pretty generous. I think the house value was at $500,000 and the income limit was at $80,000, but it did include your military retirement, it did include your state employee retirement, it did include your Social Security, it did include your disability payments. So per near everybody in Leavenworth would have qualified for that property tax freeze. So I was pretty thrilled about it. And those went to the governor, but they went packaged with some stuff that I didn't really care for either, and she used that as an excuse to veto the whole bill. And because it was at the end of the session, it was, we sent it to her during the veto session, we couldn't come back and override the veto. So I have already drafted a bill for this year. It expands what we sent her last year on the total disability. So the bill that we sent her last year, you had to be permanent and total or unemployable due to disability. This adds 100% disabled, whether you're permanent or total. So anybody 100% disabled or more, 75% exemption. And I've already got a ton of co-sponsors for it, so I'm pretty confident that it'll pass. The hardest thing with these bills is, when you're trying to do stuff for veterans, or you're trying to do stuff for seniors, you ain't got a lobbyist, right? If you're trying to like protect one industry from another industry, or fix insurance, or this or that, lobbyists come out of the woodwork to help you with your bill. But if you're trying to cut taxes for seniors and veterans, you're on your own. And it's, a lot of y'all came up and helped me with that bill, and that's how we got stuff done, was people, just folks from different districts coming up and talking. But most of the districts in our state don't have a lot of veterans. They have like less than 1% veterans in their district, and so they didn't really understand the need. Well, now they understand the reason we're doing it. It's for those veterans that are here now, but it's also about retaining talent in our state. We separate in Kansas 3,000 veterans every year for between Fort Leavenworth, Fort Riley, and McConnell Air Force Base. They've got degrees. A lot of them have advanced degrees. They've got spouses that have degrees or advanced degrees. They've got great health insurance, plus all their VA medical care. A lot of it's delivered on the economy. So their federal dollars that they get for their health care props up our health care system. And I think that, they will be here in our workforce. We've got 80,000 jobs that are unfilled right now. We can get those folks to come here, to stay here, and fill those jobs. Right now, they're going to Texas and Florida because they don't have a property tax. I think we've successfully communicated that in both houses. I think legislators now understand why this isn't just for veterans, it's for Kansas. The senior thing's kind of self-explanatory. We don't want seniors having to leave the state when they retire to go other places. We want them to stay in Kansas. And so I think we've reached that critical mass of legislators understanding Now it's just a matter of getting it through the relevant committees and getting it to the floor of each house. Last year, during the special session, when we were doing the big tax bill, I had an amendment that would have tacked this onto the big tax bill that we ended up, that we negotiated with the governor. The tax chair and speaker came to me and said, hey, you can do that, and we'll all get up there and we'll all speak in favor of it, and we'll all vote for it, but then we have to take it back in committee and take it right back out because we have this negotiated settlement with the governor. This is all she's going to do. But they promised me if I held on to it, they would tee it up first when we come back into session this year. So it should be, one of the first bills that we do in the committee. If you're not on my newsletter, leave your email, get on my newsletter so you can see. I'm going to keep you updated on my newsletter on when it's in committee, when it's on the floor, and all those things.